You gotta get yourself up.
All right. So, Paul, have you got your recording on?
I do now.
You can take. All right. So, Paul, I'm going to tell you how I used to sell computers when I worked for Apple. Right. A person would walk in the store and they would just walk in, start having a look at the computers, and I'd say, "Are you looking? How you going? Are you looking for a desktop or a laptop?" And they'd say, "I'm just looking." I've gone, "No, that's great. I'm happy if you just look. They're all live. You can get into Google, do whatever you like. While you're looking, I'm going to write you a quote so that then when you're out looking everywhere else, you will have a price to compare with all the other companies, right?" And, oh, all right then. Great. So are you looking at a desktop or a laptop? So a laptop. Is it for a kid or for you, for an adult? For a kid, for school, no problems at all. So then I'd go do a quote for a basic laptop, so a MacBook, and just say, and then I'd go back and I'd say, all right, so here it is. So the MacBook by itself will cost $2,000, but you will also need aftercare protection plan. You will need an external hard drive because it's got moving parts. You need to save stuff, and you'll need the Word package because it doesn't come with it, but kids need to be able to type Word documents, right? So I said, so your $2,000 laptop is going to cost you $3,000. Now, here's what you need to know. An Apple computer can't change price anywhere in the world, but these other components probably can from store to store, right? So, hello. And so from store to store. So I want you to take this quote and I want you to go down to, you're probably going to go over to Harvey Norman. Go over to Harvey Norman. I think they sell Apple computers. They definitely sell PCs. Here's what I know about Harvey Norman. The salesmen will trip all over each other trying to serve you. They will undercut each other trying to get a sale. The Apple part, they can't do anything with. PCs, I believe they can. These other components, to a degree, they might be able to move a few things around. I don't know. Right? But that's how they behave down there. They'll just trip all over you trying to cut each other out of the sale, right? Go down to Joyce Main. I have no idea if they sell computers or if it's only furniture, but hey, it's across the road. You may as well go check it out. And then there's a store down here, doesn't sell apples at all. It's only PC stuff. So go down, have a bit of a comparison. They'll be able to do all sorts of deals down there. Whatever happens, if you get an Apple, if it breaks down, this is a service center for town. So no matter what happens, if you get an Apple and it breaks, you bring it here and we'll fix it here at the service center. There's your quote, have at it. And the guy every time will say, well, since you've done the shopping for me, I may as well just buy it here. Now, to my knowledge, they were never buying. They literally were just wandering around because, we can all do that. But once all the shopping experience has been explained, do you need to buy? Do you need to shop around? And the reason I would do it this way and I would send people everywhere, and I teach this in sales class all the time, send them out and look around, but work out how to get them back to you, because here's what I know, and there's no way around this. The customer, except for with a pair of shoes and a handbag, the customer will always shop at the last place they're in. Shoes and a handbag is different. We're always going back to the very first store we were in. We just want to make sure that they were the best. We see them girls see it in the first shop. They know exactly what they want. They check 50 other stores just to confirm that what they wanted was what they wanted. They'll go back to the first store. Everything else, it's the last store you're in because you're tired, and hey, it's kind of the same anyway, right? So what I did was I just made sure he ended up back here. Well, then I don't need to shop.
You took them on a virtual shopping tour. It's great.
All out, right? I would do the same when I was at Fantastic Furniture, right? Let's say somebody came in to buy a lounge. You'll love this. They come in to buy a lounge, right? And they have a particular color and style that they're after. Now, let's assume that we don't have the color or the style. Then clearly they're not buying the lounge from me because we don't have anything that what they want. So I'll say, okay, so we don't have what you're after. You could do a sort of similar, but we don't have what you're after. And since what you want is what you're after, I would suggest you keep looking. So I'll ask you this. Where else have you been shopping? And they're like, why do you ask? And I said, because I'm going to send you to a few other stores to go looking since I don't have it, right? So then I'd say, it doesn't matter. So there's a shop down there that's purple. I don't know. It used to be a furniture shop. I think it still is. I don't know what they sell. bit high end. Go down, have a look. It's just down the street. There's another shop up and around the corner, about 500 meters away. It's called Amart, brand new out. Never been in there. I believe their furniture is kind of modeled on ours. I don't know if the staff are nice. I don't know how big the store is inside. I don't know what's available. I believe it's similar to us, right? Don't know their prices. Here's what I know. With our lounges, it takes 6 weeks to get in the lounge, like spot on 6 weeks. When you go around to them, find out how much it is. If they say 6 weeks, double check. Are you sure? Will it really take 8? If they say 10 to 12 weeks, double check. Does that really mean 12 weeks or does it mean 14 or 16? Like double check, right? And then I want you to go over to the Canberra Outlet Centre, because I was in Canberra, go to the Canberra Outlet Centre. I want you to go into Freedom. Freedom is similar products to us, twice the price, but they might have the colour or the style you're after. While you're at the Outlet Centre, there's a chocolate shop in there called Lindt. Now, since it's nearly Christmas time, I want you to go in there and look for the chocolates. They're red balls and they're red and white striped. My boys call it, it's like candy canes in white chocolate. They're amazing. I want you to get yourself some of those. And then from there, I want you to come back to the store and tell me what it is that you found. Where did you find it and when is it getting delivered? Right? Because the secret is get them to come back to you. So I assume they're shopping somewhere else, but hey, come back, tell me all about it. So guaranteed every time. You know what I got when I worked? Chocolates. Chocolates. That's right. I got you the ones that you liked, and I looked at some others. I thought these would be good. And what can you say when someone goes out of their way to buy you chocolates, give it to them, you say, thank you, and you take them. And then you let them know, I'm not going to be sharing them with anyone. These are mine. And then you, by the way, it's chocolate.
I need to do the same thing with vintage rum and cigars. And by the way, there's a cigar shop around the corner.
You need to get one of these very specifically. Come back and tell me what you bought, right? So they would come back, they would give me chocolates, and I say, how'd you go with your lounge? Well, I have to tell you, I found it in the shop around the corner. Very first shop I went into, they had exactly what I was after. It was already made. It was on the showroom floor. It was the color, it was the style, it was the feel that I'm after. It was on special because it was floor stock and they're looking to move it out. They're delivering it tomorrow. I got it for half price. I've gone, that's amazing. They said, yeah, I just wish I had bought it from you though, because you were the nicest salesman. But you're getting what you want. And deep in their heart, it turns out it wasn't entirely the lounge they were after. It was the person that was selling it to them.
The experience.
You know what? Even if that's exactly right. So they moved from getting exactly what they wanted rather than come straight to me, we better go get those chocolates. And then we have an excuse. And then from there, I'd say, so that's fantastic. I'm so excited that you're getting the lounge. Well, if I have any friends, I'm going to tell them while they had what I wanted, you were the nicer person, prefer that they come and shop with you. And by the way, while I'm here, maybe I could find a rug or a lamp. Got any cushions? Sure, why not? And they end up buying and they end up promoting me as the salesman, even though I didn't sell the lounge.
Exactly what you're doing is what we with Total QX, total quality experience, is exactly what we say to people. Doesn't matter what you do. 1 million people can do what you do. Why you do what you do? Well, it gets people to the door, maybe. But what gets them buying is the experience. Now, even though they didn't buy from you, they came back and said, well, maybe you can sell us a rug, because it was the experience they wanted. Really.
Yeah. I wanted to take a piece of you home. I mean, I drop you off the chocolates, and when I eat the chocolates, when I eat my chocolates, well, then you're gone. But the rug will be here forever. Oh, wow, that's a nice rug. How'd you get that? Well, I'll tell you about the sales girl and how I ended up with the lounge, right? And then the rug will forever hold the story of the sales girl that helped them get the exact lounge that they were after.
Yep.
And so now, they'll lose the lounge before they'll lose the rug. It's kind of cool, right?
So here's a lesson for any business owner with a salesman like yourself on the floor, right? Don't let the person leave. Don't let that salesperson
right? So the salesman, it's okay if the salesman points them to somewhere else, right? Do the shopping, but just ask them, come back and tell me all about it. Come back and tell me what you bought. And then now you'll get a sale.
Yeah.
I taught this to a girl, young woman who sold George Jensen jewelry. Now, George Jensen jewelry is high-end silver jewelry. So think $400 for a pair of earrings. Not big ones, just little studs. $400. It's just
I had a custom tie clip made by them in
there you go. I was going to say you lived in Europe, so you would know George Jensen, right?
30 years ago, I had a custom tie clip made.
There you go. She worked in a little pop-up store inside in Australia, like David Jones. So our big fancy department store. You know, for America, it would be considered like Macy's or something like that. And anyhow, she says, you know, how do I get people to shop here? I said, every person that walks past, just ask them if they've ever tried on a $10,000 necklace, and then get a $10,000 necklace out of the counter, go around the counter, put it around their neck, and have a look at it in the mirror. I said, they're not running off with it. Nobody knew they were going to try on a $10,000 necklace today anyway, but they're not running off with it. So just put it on. You guys will have a bit of a giggle. They'll have a look. They'll go, really, $10,000? Oh my God. What else have you got? Have you got anything less than 10, right? So now they're trained to see the store. You were friendly. That was a bit of fun. That was a bit of a fun experience. Let's see what you've got. Goes down to a $400 pair of earrings. Wow, I wouldn't even spend that. Silver earrings, right? And then I taught her to say this. Now what I want you to do is say to the customer, while you're shopping today, if you get a chance to, like I don't mind, but while you're shopping today, I was wondering if you could do me a little favor. So Mazzucchelli's, the diamond jewelers just up the pathway, they sell high-end jewelry. Just wondering if you could go in and run a little experiment for me. She said, I can't go in there because I know that I sell George Jensen, so I can't go in there. But if you could go in there and just ask, can I try on a $10,000 necklace? That's all I want you to ask. And then come back and tell me later, like come back and tell me if they let you try it on without showing ID. Because this then showed how friendly she was. Holy cow, you just dropped on me. You don't even know who I am. So anyhow, these women would drop everything. They'd say, oh, I was going to do the groceries, but I'll do that first. They go up and they come back and they say, you know, they were so unfriendly up there, they wouldn't even show me a $10,000 necklace. They would know why. Why are you even asking? Why are you so specific in what it is that you want to try on? Why? She said they were unfriendly. So seriously, what do you have here that's less than? And then they'd start looking and then they'd leave with a piece of jewelry. And they were doing the grocery shopping. I said, it's all about getting them to come back to you. It's all the 3 to 7 exposures. It takes 3 to 7 exposures for someone to talk themselves into buying something, buying you, buying something, buying whatever it is, right? So the first exposure was, hey, hi, how you going? Second one, come and try on a $10,000 necklace while we have a bit of a giggle. Hey, what else do you have? There's another exposure. Could you do this task for me? Come back and tell me how it worked. There's another exposure. I mean, we've tracked through more than 3 already.
Yep.
And they're selling themselves the whole time. And then they've still got to go do the groceries. But wow, she was so nice. Like I was supposed to do the groceries. I wasn't supposed to be $300 on some earrings. I was supposed to just be doing the groceries. She was so nice. I mean, I couldn't really let it pass. And now whenever I wear these. But men would actually just say, you just wear them out. I'll put those. It's like shoes, right? I'll put those in a bag. You wear these ones out. God. She had a girl there once who came to pick up. She was dripping in jewelry, right? The husband would buy her jewelry all the time. And I was just there chatting to her, coming in. Hey, Ming, just checking in, see how you're going. And this customer comes in, dripping in stuff, to pick up the latest present that the husband was buying her, right? Whatever it was. I mean, she was like thousands of dollars, right? Just on her hands, not even like up her arms, right? And Ming says, hey, Misty, come on over and check out what, let's say her name was Sarah, check out what Sarah's husband just bought her. Sarah's come to pick it up right now. Sarah, let's show her. So here I am, just a person at the counter, right? Sarah's husband just bought her a $5,000 diamond ring. Check this out. Put it on, Sarah. Show everyone. And then as people go past, come over and see what Sarah's husband just bought. Sarah, isn't it magnificent? And you think that if you bought a $5,000 ring, you don't necessarily want everybody, you know, knowing that. That's what I was thinking. I thought, oh, this is going to go bad. But of course, everyone comes over and goes, oh my God, let's have a look. And of course, Sarah's going, oh my God. And we go, wow. And your husband, and what did he do to do that? Or was it your birthday? She said, no, He just did it because he knows that I like jewelry. So Sarah feels like $1 million.
Yeah.
We're all saying, that's amazing. It's so beautiful. How lucky are you? Ming turns around and says, so what piece should we get him to get you next? Let's find it. Let's take a picture. Let's send it to him and say, she said, I'll send it to him and say, Sarah's just come to pick up her jewelry. She thinks she's the most amazing person on the planet. By the way, I just discovered this one. She was looking at this. And that's how she does it. Her husband doesn't have to think. He was a builder. He built, like, hotels and things. So, but yeah. But turns out, even for the person who was getting this high-end piece of jewelry, having this whole experience and everybody coming and saying, oh my God, it's magnificent. Look how shiny it is. You are so glamorous.
Been resold
So sell her again and again. So, and the woman's there going, I will never get my jewelry anywhere else. And I worked in a jewelry store. I don't find jewelry that easy. I could do it now, but I didn't understand the fundamentals of sales when I was doing jewelry before. And I was only, in my 20s then. Jewelry wasn't really my thing. It was the job that was available. And but going back then, so 10 years ago, but 20 years ago, but 10 years ago when I was teaching Ming how to do it, was, when someone came in, you were quiet about it. You were quiet about the amount of money they were spending. You didn't talk about it. I don't know, you acted like as if somebody was literally just going to steal their handbag and run off. Nobody's carrying that cash in their pocket.
But that's what that industry does, isn't it? And I think
yeah, but actually, it's when Ming did it and brought everybody in, you couldn't say no to buying now because everybody considers it magnificent. Check this out. Oh my God, how beautiful is she? And it becomes the whole experience of the combined shopping. It's called social shopping.
I love that. And I was just going to sort of say about those touch points, the 3 to 7 touch points, which, can't think of the term. There's a specific term for that. But in any case, that journey you took the guy on in the virtual journey you took the guy on in the computer store is very similar as well, because every time you mention go here, go there, in his head, he's going there with you. And so there's another, it's some people might say it's a far reach, but it's not. Every time you take him to a new store in his head, you're there.
He's exhausted with all the shopping. I've got to get in and out of the car. I've got to battle through all the people. I've then got to get there. I've got to find the section in the store. I've got to find the salesman. Now I'm going to be fought over.
Yeah, and now he comes out of that store virtually, and before he goes into a new store that you're taking him into, he's having another interaction with you. Goes in, comes out, goes in, comes out. He's
literally exhausted from having gone in and out, in and out, in and out, talking to all of these people. Oh my God, is that what I'm after? And I don't guarantee anything. It was like with the lounge. I don't know if the staff are nice. I don't know what the prices are like. I don't know if it's worth even stepping in there, but hey, it's around the corner, you may as well. So my reputation is never done because somebody else has done something bad. Well, you recommended that I go over there and now, they've tarnished your reputation. That's rubbish. I've never had anyone tarnish my reputation. Even when I run networking groups, right? So with Business at Breakfast, when I run networking things, I say, someone in your group wrote to me and put me on a newsletter. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You are. You're going to go to them and say, are you aware you put me on a newsletter list and I didn't know about it? Hey, we should have a one-to-one. You should find out about me and I should find out about you. You're going to fix it, not me.
Yeah.
Somebody offended me in your group, did they? Go fix that.
Well, who's that between? Let's be honest.
You go fix it.
Get accountable.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your experience was terrible. I put you in charge. Oh.
This is life, not welfare state.
Yeah. So it's just, nobody can hurt your reputation unless you allow it to happen.
Yep.
I could give you what I consider the world's greatest referral, and it could end up being the world's most shocking client for you. You can blame me. Oh my God, Misty, I've got the worst person ever. Hey, you're the one decided to work with him. I put him in your direction, right? Or you recommended this person to, let's say, build my website, and they have been the worst ever. Well, you should have vetted them. You should have vetted them better or pulled out of it earlier. I mean, partly you're in charge, right? I pointed you in a direction. So my reputation can't be hurt. It's the same when I teach overcoming sales objections. There is no such thing as a sales objection. Salesmen create sales objections. Prior to that, it's a comment made by the customer. Sounds like a sales objection. You charge $50,000 for coaching, Paul? I would never spend that. Now, if you want to treat that as a salesman, if you treat that as a sales objection, here's what you'll do. Let me explain my $50,000, right? And see, now because you've treated it as a sales objection, the customer can object and walk. So it doesn't matter what you say. But if you treat it as a comment, $50,000, I would never spend that. Most people pay with Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. Oh, right. Okay. So it's a comment. It could be. I would never spend that. I know, crazy, isn't it? It could be that. That's softer than the payment terms. It'll take a little while to get the payment terms that way. Or it could be, I know. Like, that's it. You just treat it as a comment. Acknowledge that you heard it. Give that comment back to the customer, right? I would never spend that. Then I can't help you. Well, I didn't say I didn't need your help. And if you're quiet for long enough, the customer will sort out this problem. But the customer only made a comment about it. 50,000, I would never spend that. It sounds like they're objecting, but an objection is, I'm not going to talk to you anymore and I'm walking away. I object all the time with, oh, yeah, go. Yeah.
I was going to say, I had a guy a couple of weeks back. He's like, how much does the coaching cost? It's 36,000 for the year. Holy hell! I did exactly what you said. See, most people put it on their Visa or Amex. Oh, I don't even have that limit. Like, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
And it's left with them, right?
Yeah.
What's the point of explaining your price to someone who doesn't have the limit or doesn't have the money?
Yeah.
I've got a guy that I network. His name is James Feldman. People come to him, and he's hardcore salesman. Like, he's been around even longer than you and me. Like, and he knows sales. He's a salesman. He sells every day. He can do this. And then someone will come up and say, "Hey, Jim, I need your help." Jim says, "How much money have you got?" "Well, I don't have any." He said, "Then why are you coming and asking me for help?" "Because I think that you've got the answer, but you don't have any money." "Well, it's a quick question. All right, ask me the question." And then he'll ask, and then I'll say, "Yeah, okay, so that answer is going to cost you like $5,000, because it's not the answer. It's not the how do I do this. It's the I need help with this and accomplish this, and I need to make $10,000 in the next week. Yeah, okay, that's going to cost you $5,000, because you're going to have to set up a system.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's not his, like he says, it's not my answer that's going to cost you $5,000. It's the answer. The answer isn't what I tell you. It's that you've been able to implement it to get what you're after.
So many people don't get
I can't help you. Right?
So many people don't get that. Anyway.
It's a good line, right? And the question becomes, why are you trying to sell something to someone who doesn't have the money? That's insane.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have the money for a Ferrari and you walk into the Ferrari store. Well,
most people don't have the money. Go, I'm not going. I don't even think I'm allowed to walk in there. Okay, so now you have the idea of the Ferrari store, right? Right. Without the cash. It's funny though. The car salesmen who don't do well with selling cars assume that people don't have money.
Good point.
Right? They assume that they've walked into a store that they don't ever have the ability to buy something. But really, an everyday car store, anyone in theory could buy an everyday car, because the everyday person isn't walking into a Ferrari store. No. The person who does assume they got the cash, because otherwise they wouldn't be going enough to walk in there, because they'd be giving such a wide berth around the car. Like, just in case I touch it, I scratch it. I put a breath mark on it, and now it's going to cost me. Like, and then you're not game enough to drive it, right? So I've got the cash, but if I'm not going to drive anywhere, you don't have the cash to drive a Ferrari.
As always, there's one exception to the rule, right? The exception is those people who have the kahunas to walk in there because they're visualizing owning a Ferrari and they want to take it for a test drive and they want to feel how it is and all the rest of it. Those ones will walk in and they'll be very confident about it. But when I
It's
first
the
went,
exception, and you're
yeah,
right. It's the exception to the rule, and the exception to the rule is small, so assume everybody's buying.
absolutely. When I first went to Europe, I went to Germany in the 90s. In Dusseldorf, there's a street called the Königsallee. It's like the Champs-Élysées of Germany, right? I know a couple other cities would disagree, but anyway, it's just high end. And there, back then at least, and probably still today, there are people living in Dusseldorf, and they are retired, and they have never been on the Champs-Élysées. Sorry, on the Königsallee. They've never walked on it because no, that's high class. That's not us. We don't go there. We go over here. The psychology is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're like me and you don't know, well, then why can't I?
Yeah.
Right? But there's an exception to every rule.
Hmm.
Mostly, most people aren't buying unless there's certain places where they're always going to buy, right? Anything that's food related. Clearly, they're not looking at the menu unless they're hungry. They're not walking into the pub unless they want to drink, right? Petrol, petrol or gas. You're not going to a gas station or a petrol station unless you need to fill up your car, right?
Yep.
And whether you like it or not, you're not going to a grocery store unless you need something. Like you go in with the plan of, I'm not getting anything except for the one thing I'm after, but you'll always leave with stuff and you wonder why, how did it do it? So I'll give you
Yep.
one on ice cream. Give me a sec. We're going to stop and start.